opinions expressed by the hosts, callers, and guests are not those of ddvradio.com, Envisage Productions LLC, its advertisers, sponsors, or employees.
And now, good. And now live from the studios of DDV Radio in beautiful downtown Hilden, New Jersey, it's the Breast Cancer Awareness Show. And I am the host, Tom Marino. The Breast Cancer Awareness Show is a 2-hour program that is live every Saturday morning at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time. You can find the program by going to www.breastcancerawarenessddv.com and clicking on Tune In. You can listen to the recorded program every morning at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time by going to the website and clicking on the uploaded program. You can also listen to any of the many previous programs by going on the website and clicking on the month and then the program you would like to listen to. My mission with this program is to save as many women's lives as possible through education and preventative measures in a naturopathic approach. I have guests on this program who are well schooled and have extensive experience in these measures. I also post an incredible amount of information on the Donna Marino Breast Cancer Foundation Facebook page, the Putting on the Pink Facebook page, and my Twitter page, which is Thomas Marino 77. Please visit these pages as often as possible. If you would like to heal yourself naturally to avoid illness, especially cancer, I recommend purchasing the following books: Heal Breast Cancer Naturally, 7 Essential Steps to Beating Breast Cancer by Dr. Veronique de Saulnier, or as we know her, Dr. V. You can find her book by going to her website, which is breastcancerconqueror.com. Dr. V is also on Facebook at Heal Breast Cancer Naturally. Radiant Health, Ageless Beauty by Dr. Christine Horner. And Dr. Horner's website is christinehorner.com. ChristineHorner. And Dr. Horner is also on Facebook. Beating Cancer with Nutrition by Dr. Patrick Quillen. And you can find Dr. Quillen's book by going to Amazon. And Patrick Quillen's last name is spelled Quillin. What Women Must Know to Protect Their Daughters from Breast Cancer by Dr. Cheryl Selman. And Dr. Selman's name is spelled SHERRILLSELLMAN. And you can find her book on Amazon or by going to her website, which is whatwomenmustknow.com. Also, the top 10 natural cancer cures no one is talking about by Danica Collins. And you can order this book by going to top 10, the number 10, cancercures.com/order.htm. And once again, please visit the Donna Marino Breast Cancer Foundation Facebook page, the Putting on the Pink Facebook page, and my Twitter page, Thomas Marino 77, as often as possible. So we're going to start today by trying to get a little caught up on a few things that I thought were important that unfortunately weren't uploaded previously in the previous programs that were done and onto the website. And it's a couple of passages from a couple of books. One of them is the What Women Must Know to Protect Their Daughters from Breast Cancer book by Dr. Selman. And she finishes her book by writing this, and it says, in the old Wild West movies, when a band of hostile enemies were set to attack the wagon train, the wagon master would yell, "Circle the wagons." The wagons would suddenly change their course and huddle into a protective circle, providing protection and defense. In a way, it's time for women to circle the wagons. More than ever, they live in a hostile world. It often appears they're surrounded and under unrelenting assault on all sides, from the polluted environment, toxic foods, media brainwashing, corporate interests, and cultural demands. These forces seem to be incredibly daunting and inescapable. Have they become the proverbial frog cooking in the pot? Are they floating so comfortably in the water that their senses are dulled to the rising temperature? How long can they ignore the fact that 80 to 90% of all cancers are due to environmental and food carcinogens? What do they say when it is now known that every child today is born tainted with foreign chemicals in their bodies? What are they to do when carcinogenic chemicals permeate breast milk, infuse their children's clothing, leach from their baby bottles, and are sprayed on their playgrounds? Why do they tolerate schools providing the poorest quality, most nutritionally depleted food to their children? How they can allow their teenage daughters to believe carcinogenic oral contraceptives are a better option than their own natural menstrual cycles? Are they all blind to the fact that the health of all of their children is in crisis as never before? Can they truly allow this state of affairs to continue? Protecting the health of their children and guarding their hormonal well-being at every stage of their development is a profound responsibility. It is also a huge task, but not an impossible one. When it comes to making changes happen, women have been unstoppable forces throughout history, whether within the family, within the community, or within the world. More than ever, now is the time for the voices of women to be heard. The very first step must be the lifting of the veil of ignorance. They must question, challenge, investigate, and trust their own inner knowingness. Making informed decisions is always dependent on a concerted effort to search for and uncover the truth. Becoming knowledgeable on matters relating to health, healing, and the environment will allow them to be more discerning and sifting fact from fiction. Once armed with this knowledge, the next step is to initiate the necessary changes to allow their children to be properly nourished and cared for on all levels. At first, these changes may begin as small steps. Perhaps it's replacing all commercial, chemical household cleaners with safe, non-toxic ones, or eliminating all candy from the cupboard, or adding organic vegetables to the meals. Every little bit of change helps, even if they are teeny tiny baby steps of change. With each little bit, a stronger fabric of health is woven. In Native American culture, it was the wisdom and guidance of the grandmothers, the wise women elders, that looked after the welfare of the tribe far into the distant future. Their concerns and decisions were made with the future generations in mind. As nourishers of life, it is the nature of women to fiercely protect the well-being of children. The real-life sustaining values and concerns of women are far beyond the world of greed, politics, and war. The collective voices and wisdom of women are required to restore balance and to protect their daughters and sons from the consequences of a toxic world. The voices were loud in Israel. In 1978, following a public outcry and threatened with legal action, Israel banned many toxic chemicals such as DDT and PCBs that were directly linked in a 1976 study with breast cancer in women. Once Israel banned these chemicals, they began noticing a significant decrease in the level of toxic chemicals found in human breast milk. Over the next 10 years, the rate of breast cancer deaths declined sharply, with a 30% drop in mortality for women under 44 years old, and an 8% overall decline. Loud voices protesting the use of toxic chemicals polluting the water, food, and air must pierce the silence. Defiant voices demanding food sources be pure, nutritious, and in harmony with nature must become deafening. Strong voices that will not tolerate the poisoning of the unborn or the damaging of our children's bodies must be resolute in their determination. There is much to be done. The lives of our children are precious beyond all words. With their long-term health and hormonal well-being presently in jeopardy, the time is well past due for all women to become the dynamic forces to make this world safe and healthy once again. The strength and power of our collective voices must be heard. We are the voices that will restore sanity and balance to the world of our children, our children's children, and our great-children's children will inherit. They are the powerful voice the children of the future are listening for. And again, that's from What Women Must Know to Protect Their Daughters from Breast Cancer by Dr. Cheryl Selman. And I recommend purchasing this book. All of the books that I promote on here, this program, are excellent books, and they're very well affordable. This book is $24.95, and then a few bucks for shipping. So it's definitely worth it. And another book that I'd like to do an excerpt from is a book called Cancer, Natural Cures They Don't Want You to Know About. And this book is written by a woman by the name of K.A. Thomas. It's a short book, and it's an easy read. And she unfortunately went through the loss of her father because she put her faith in the life of her father in the hands of the traditional medicine doctors, and obviously that never ends up working. So anyway, says the reality of Western medicine. At McGill Cancer Center, there was a poll taken by accredited scientists, which included 118 doctors who are all considered experts on cancer. If these doctors were to be stricken with cancer, they were asked which experimental therapy they would choose from. 3 out of 4 denied all chemotherapy choices due to its devastating effects on the immune system and body, and of course, the low success rate. They also concluded they would not allow their family members to go through the process either. So please explain to me and the public and help me understand why almost 75% of doctors we put our trust into are still recommending chemotherapy to their patients when they themselves won't touch it with a 10-foot pole. Maybe it's the large price tag associated with it when they are recommending it. And that's always the answer, as I talk about every week here on this program. It's about money, the almighty dollar. And that's why they talk about sending you off for surgery, chemotherapy, and radiation. It doesn't work. I had somebody reach out to me, or actually I saw a post earlier this week on Facebook from somebody who started up a GoFundMe page for, I think it was his sister. I'm not sure if it was his sister or his sister-in-law, and another young woman. And you see this almost every week now. Another young woman who is in stage 4 cancer, unfortunately, and is in the process of doing radiation, which doesn't work. It's poison, obviously. But again, those of us who aren't knowledgeable in what's going on, don't understand that and don't know that, and put their faith and their life in the hands of these murderers we call doctors, or traditional doctors, I should say, and end up losing their lives at some point in time. So anyway, I reached out to this person who posted this on Facebook, and gave him some information. And again, he was, I guess you could say, receptive to it, but obviously he wasn't sure if his sister or sister-in-law would also be receptive to it. And that's unfortunately the majority of the opinions, I guess, the mindset of all of us who are not, I don't want to say educated, but don't understand the truth, obviously, as to what the reality is, and are afraid to go in a different direction because we've been brainwashed to think that way. We've been brainwashed to believe that this is all voodoo and hocus pocus and all of that. And until you get involved, until you read about it, until you educate yourself, you don't really understand that it's not. There is a better way. There's definitely a better way to survive and beat cancer, or even prevent cancer, which is even better, obviously. But it has to do with a completely different mindset. You have to change the way you think and open up your mind to a whole different way of living. And that's pretty tough for a lot of people because obviously, depending on how old you are, you've lived your life a certain way for all of these years. And, we're creatures of habit, obviously. And many of us are afraid to change our ways. But we have to, because that's the only way we're going to survive. And unfortunately, those of us who go through the horribleness of it all understand that that was the wrong way to go. The way we went, putting our faith in these traditional medicine doctors, wasn't the way to go. And it's very, I don't even know how to explain it, really. I mean, I pretty much used every word you possibly could use, so I use the same words over and over again because there's really no other way to explain it. It's a horrible thing. It's devastating to us all. And it's something that shouldn't be happening. That's the worst part. You know, if there was no way to cure cancer or prevent cancer, that's one thing. And obviously that would be horrible as it is. But when we find out that we're being tricked by traditional medicine doctors for the benefit of their own personal wealth, I mean, that's really, really bad. That's very, very hard to accept. I mean, how can you accept that? You have a woman that you're with, your wife or your girlfriend, your mom, your sister, whoever she may be, and she loses her life at a young age because the traditional doctor who they put their faith in doesn't give you the truth, doesn't tell you the way you need to take care of yourself in order to survive. I really don't know what the repercussion is for that. I mean, I know what I would do, but I can't do it, unfortunately. But it's definitely a horrible thing, and it's sickening. And this is what's happening to our women now, our young women. And that's why I'm here every week. As much as I can be here on Saturday mornings, I try to be here. And hopefully do the best I can to help people understand. Some people obviously take the advice and go with it, and that's a great thing. And I appreciate that. It makes me feel good. And then again, obviously, I get other people that, you know, throw something back that isn't true, but that's how they think. I had somebody comment on one of my tweets this past week that it was bogus, that natural therapies were bogus, and that was obviously not true. And I responded to that person in that manner. And so the fight continues, and our work will never end until someday, which probably I won't see, where it's finally understood by the masses that drugs don't cure, they only treat. And they're only given to you for profit. You know, the big pharmaceutical companies are making billions of dollars on turning everybody into a drug addict. And then they wonder why so many people are drug addicts. Or maybe they just play that game, obviously. I think they obviously know why, but they make it look like they don't know why. And that all ties into, obviously, everything else that's happening with the drug epidemic today, with the opioids and the heroin. I mean, it's all tied together. And it's, you know, shame on these big pharma companies. Shame on these doctors. You know, shame on the FDA. Shame on the government officials. Our senators and congressmen and women. Shame on them all. So we're going to take a break right now and hang out, and we'll be back in a few minutes.
Bella Physical Therapy, located in Fair Lawn, New Jersey, featuring one-on-one care. Bella Physical Therapy can help treat your orthopedic and sports injuries, chronic pain, men's health conditions, and women's health conditions. Also, treating headaches and tinnitus and vestibular disorders. It's easy to set up an appointment. Visit www.bella-pt.com or call 201-791-0008. That's 201-791-0008. You owe it to yourself to stop living in pain. Start the road to recovery. Call Bella Physical Therapy today. Tri-State Health and Wellness. If you're searching for a doctor who truly cares about your health and well-being, contact Dr. Alex at Tri-State Health and Wellness. Dr. Alex specializes in treating law enforcement professionals and their families and features special hours to accommodate different work shifts. All necessary testing can be performed in their friendly and comfortable environment. Contact Tri-State Health and Wellness, located in Fair Lawn, New Jersey. Call 201-791-7771. That's 201-791-7771. Wayne Ford. If you are looking for a certified used or new vehicle, look no further. Visit Wayne Ford, New Jersey's law enforcement preferred dealer. Featuring the largest inventory of pre-owned vehicles in the tri-state area, Wayne Ford has been proudly serving the community for over 50 years. Conveniently located 1/4 mile from the Willowbrook Mall on Route 46 in Wayne, New Jersey, contact Wayne Ford today. Toll free 888-349-6857. That's 888-349-6857. Kale Orthopedic Center, featuring high-performance care for bodies in motion. Kale Orthopedic is proud to provide comprehensive orthopedic care for New Jersey's finest. Every day you put your body at risk, and Kale Orthopedic is here to help you. Contact Kale Orthopedic at 201-447-3880. That's 201-447-3880. Kale Orthopedic, high-performance care for bodies in motion. If you're tired of sleeping alone each night, contact Dr. Doblin of At Home Sleep Solutions. Dr. Doblin is New Jersey's law enforcement professionals' preferred sleep apnea doctor. With the use of a custom-fitted oral device, you can now look forward to a restful night's sleep. Contact Dr. Doblin, featuring 2 convenient locations in Fair Lawn and Trenton, New Jersey. Call 201-396-9338 or visit athomesleepsolutions.com. City Health Pharmacy, located at 23 Court Street in Newark, New Jersey. Come and experience why thousands of your neighbors choose City Health Pharmacy each and every month. City Health Pharmacy is a proud supporter of the men and women of New Jersey law enforcement, their families, and friends. Visit City Health Pharmacy today at 23 Court Street in Newark, New Jersey, or call 862-772-0442. That's 862-772-0442. If you're looking for the widest variety of talk programs, entertaining, engaging, diverse, uncensored, and opinionated, visit ddvradio.com. You can listen on your smartphone, tablet, or any mobile device. DDV Radio brings you the widest variety of talk programs such as Living Life Well, Your World Uncensored, The Canine Authority, and The Wise Guys Show. Visit www.ddvradio.com, the official radio network of NJ Blue Now.
Okay, welcome back to the Breast Cancer Awareness Show. And we are now obviously in our second segment of our first hour of the program. And again, you can find us by going to Breast Cancer Awareness, ddv.com, and clicking on Tune In, or going to our video feed, which is on YouTube. And if you go to YouTube and type in DDV Radio in the search box, you can either watch us live or on tape once it's obviously uploaded, and it's usually uploaded immediately after the program. So continuing on, another part of the book by K.A. Thomas, which I wanted to read, which is, and she puts down, you must understand that chemotherapy drugs are such toxic and dangerous substances that if a spill occurs in a hospital, it's considered a major biohazard. The main foundation of today's Western medicine is supported by a common saying, a pill for every ill. This statement is so far from being correct, it's not funny. It's supported by radiation treatments, chemotherapy, and prescription medication, like a child going to a candy store. The main important factor to keep in mind are that these forms of, quote, medicine, unquote, are very expensive, patentable, and manipulated by the FDA, the government, media advertising, and big pharma. For decades, we have been coerced into making choices of which type of toxin should we be taking, as they are highly recommended from the doctors we put our faith and trust into. And then, of course, all forms of natural healing have either been labeled as quackery or risky alternative therapy. Right now, the government we trust, whether it be the United States, Canada, Australia, or any country, they are making sure that the public are consuming foods which absolutely do cause disease and then receive toxic chemicals as their so-called cures. This is not good intention or accidental, and if you think it is, then you need to really take a second look at what is going on. Remember this term, think tank. Well, that is the fiasco that is going on amongst our political, economic, and financial U.S. politicians and money-driven scientists. As stated earlier, cancer treatment alone is a $300 billion industry. The National Cancer Institute, the American Cancer Society, and the Food and Drug Administration are the head mob when it comes to their publishing misguided information for the American Medical Association Journal of the American Medical Association, which is the, quote, prestigious, unquote, journal whereby Western doctors cling to for drug deals, which in turn make all their patients into clients for life. Drug dealers. So what is this so-called think tank agenda behind devising such a plan? Well, of course, feed the population with unlabeled GMO pesticide corn and soy, aspartame, dump fluoride in our water systems, pump up our animals with antibiotics and hormones. Oh, and don't forget about the yummy fructose corn syrup we consume regularly. Then the planned choice of action when sickness prevails is chemotherapy, pharmaceutical drugs, and radiation, and of course, surgery. This is not coincidence. It's planned, and it's planned well. After watching the movie Food Matters, it made me realize that when you donate money for an actual cure, these funds are actually spent shutting down the actual cure. What you must understand is that half of the American Cancer Society board consists of oncologists and radiologists, which are interested in 4 slow death choices for the patient. They all receive grants from one another, which conclude the circle of trust with cancer funding, and that it will keep going round and round in the same trusted circle. When you donate money to the American Cancer Society, it has whistleblowers for the doctors that are prescribing unproven methods, quote unquote, such as natural cures. And then these doctors are shut down in courts, and some are thrown in jail or their license is taken away. When you find a protocol, a therapy, or a cure that is cheap, has no side effects, or is not patentable, it gets shut down immediately. The AMA is responsible for licensing all doctors in America, and that's the American Medical Association. So their partners in crime, such as the FDA, American Cancer Society, and the National Cancer Institute, serve as the police for identifying doctors that step out of line, meaning stumbling upon natural cures and letting the public know. One of the mainstream problems that have been going on for decades is the fact that when a natural cure has been found by an accredited doctor, it is then taken by the AMA and the FDA to manipulate and dilute the formulas so they can post clinical trials showing that the cure doesn't work. This is exactly what they did to Dr. Brzezinski. He is one doctor that has fought hard to prove that there is a cure. He was not afraid to go against the big pharma to prove it, and his cancer survivors even stood up in court to defend him. He cured hundreds of patients. The video is an amazing watch, and I encourage you to take the time to educate yourself a little further into exactly what is going on with the corruption when it comes to cancer wars. He was also able to reveal and prove the fabricated FDA research where he discovered and revealed they had diluted his formula intentionally so it would fail and be recorded within the medical journals as a non-curable drug. In the video, if you would like to watch it, you have to type in https://vimeo.com/248-213-65. People are starting to wake up and realize that there needs to be a change, and it needs to be now, not later. When you hear the ad stating, "We are close to a cure," or 5 more years, that is such a misconception and will never happen. It's to the point now that we have to educate ourselves and not just rely on the medical professional as our educator. And she finishes her book with a quote from a doctor by the name of Ralph W. Moss that says, "Cancer therapy is so toxic and dehumanizing that I fear it far more than I fear death from cancer itself." And that's the truth. Anybody who's gone through it and has seen the devastation of it understands that. You put your faith and life in the hands of these legalized murderers, and they completely destroy the human body. It's inhumane, is what it is. It's inhumane. What they're doing to our people, especially our women, is disgraceful and should be punishable, but never will be, of course, because these doctors are all tied in. Everything starts at the top, with the big pharma companies and the fact that they're making hundreds of billions of dollars on cancer and obviously all the other diseases. And they take that money to pay off the Food and Drug Administration so that they don't approve anything that the big pharmaceutical companies don't want them to approve. And obviously that is seen everywhere. The more you educate yourself, the more you see and realize that what they approve and what they don't approve makes no sense at all. Nothing has cured cancer yet. And so, think about that. Think about how corrupt and filthy and unconscionable these people are that are in control of life, our lives. And it drops down, obviously, to these pharmaceutical reps who pay off the doctors, kick back money to them for how much drugs they're pushing. And then obviously the unknowing patient who continues to put their faith in that doctor, believing that their doctor really does care about them and is looking out for them. And in most of the cases, that's not true, obviously. When you walk into a doctor's office and you see hundreds, if not thousands, of files, what does that make you think? Or do you think about that? Does anything ever cross your mind? Do you ever think about that? Why are there so many files there? If the doctor was doing his or her job by curing his or her patients, why is there so many files there? It doesn't make sense. There shouldn't be that many files. There shouldn't even be close to that many files. It's disgusting, horrible, criminal. And that's what's going on in our country and around the world. It's very sad. They don't care about human life. Human life means nothing to them. And it's very sad. And the rest of us who have to live for the rest of our lives without that special person have to live in hell for the rest of our lives, because every day is hell. It never gets better. It never ends. How could it possibly end? It's sickening, it's disgusting, it's horrible. And yet, somehow we have to try to carry on. Somehow. So, the only way that I can continue to try to survive is by doing what I'm doing. And that's hopefully saving some lives. Hopefully. Hopefully helping other people to see the light, to see the reality, to see the truth of it all. And hopefully there's other people that are taking that advice and getting involved, whether it's reading, educating themselves, doing exercises, getting fresh air or sunshine, having their levels checked, their vitamin levels and their pH level and their iodine level and their selenium level and potassium level and magnesium level and taking care of themselves. There are so many ways that you can do it yourself. And the more you read and educate yourself, the more you'll see that you can take care of yourself without the help of a doctor. There's so many different ways of testing your body on your own, seeing where your levels are at, addressing those situations, because most of your levels are going to be low just because of the toxins that we all take into our bodies every day. And then being able to know how to take care of them, how to bring them back up to where they're supposed to be. A book that I'm reading right now is called The Immune Restoration Handbook. And it's very medically termed, but there also is a lot of easily understood information in it. And it talks about your immune system, obviously, and how to restore it, how it gets broken down in different ways, and how to address that. And that's just another example of educating yourself, teaching yourself how to take care of yourself. It's just about doing it, just going forward and having the energy, the ambition, the desire to take care of yourself. Don't put your faith in the hands of a doctor, a traditional doctor. If you're going to go to a doctor, go to a natural doctor, an alternative doctor. There's many, many doctors right now that are in the alternative field. And you can find them by Googling an alternative medicine doctor in your area, wherever your area may be. And in Dr. Quillen's book, Beating Cancer with Nutrition, at the end of the book, he has an enormous amount of zip codes all around the country and some from around the world, and where those doctors are, obviously, in I think pretty much every state in America. So if you could either find it obviously on the internet, or if you get Dr. Quillen's book, you can find it at the back of his book, at the end of his book. And there will be a zip code that's, if it's not your town, it'll be near your town. And you need to get in touch with these doctors, whoever it is that's near you, nearby, just for a consultation and see how much they charge. It may be a couple $100 maybe, because obviously insurance doesn't cover that, and that's understandable since they're involved with the whole corrupt aspect of the medical world. They're obviously being paid off to not insure natural treatments or visits to natural doctors. So you have to try to at least go that far and then make a decision from there. Or educate yourself, read, start somewhere, anywhere. Find a book like I did. The first book that I read was Dr. V's book, Heal Breast Cancer Naturally, The 7 Essential Steps. That's where I started. And from there, I found my way. You know, I'm continuing to find my way. I found my path. One book leads to another, to another, to another. And your eyes and your ear and your mind is opened. Once you start to go down that road, your mind will be opened up, and you'll want to absorb as much information as possible. And that's what it's all about. And it's a lot of work. It's not going to be easy. And you have to find the time to do your reading. Even if it's a couple pages a day or night. Eventually you'll get through the book and you move on to the next book. And like I keep saying, there's a lot of videos on YouTube that you can obviously watch. You can start out by going to The Truth About Cancer, a series that is run by Ty Bollinger and his wife. I think her name is Charlene. And most of the videos are not very long because he likes to get to the point. So if you have 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you'll be able to watch most of the videos. And then they'll lead you to another path and another in the same direction, but you'll learn more. And like I say every week, I continue to subscribe to a lot of these sites, and it's all free. It doesn't cost any money. And they'll send me emails during the week of the information that they obviously are putting out. And I get a lot of information every week. And obviously I go through it. Some of it, a small percentage of it, is not really, let's say, the best information. So you got to weed it out. But there's a lot of good information, a lot of excellent information that comes my way. And everybody can do it. Anybody can do it. If I can do it, anybody can do it. Because I didn't know what I was doing when I first started out. I just started out. And I'm just a regular, ordinary person. I'm no scientist or anything like that. I don't have a medical degree. I'm just a regular person. And that's what it's all about. You got to start taking the steps forward. Most of us get involved after the fact, after we lose somebody, because we've put our faith and trust into somebody that has no concern at all for human life. And unfortunately, we lose that person. And we find a way to somehow deal with it by trying to help others. So hopefully that'll be the case. I know that's the case with me. It helps me. It makes me feel better when I see somebody get back to me and tell me that they are reading the posts that I put, the information that I put on the Facebook pages or the Twitter page, that they're following it, that they're doing some things that I recommend. And hopefully they continue on their path and their journey, because that's the only way you're going to survive. Drugs don't cure, they only treat. And you have to remember that. If you don't remember anything else, you remember drugs don't cure, they only treat. And these doctors that are pushing drugs are only looking to make themselves wealthier. You can go natural, but natural isn't patentable. And so the big pharmaceutical companies can't patent the natural substances. And that's why they poo-poo them and make them sound like they're so bad and they don't work. It's just that simple. So we're going to take another break, and we'll be back in a few minutes.
Bella Physical Therapy, located in Fair Lawn, New Jersey, featuring one-on-one care. Bella Physical Therapy can help treat your orthopedic and sports injuries, chronic pain, men's health conditions, and women's health conditions. Also, treating headaches and tinnitus and vestibular disorders. It's easy to set up an appointment. Visit www.bella-pt.com or call 201-791-0008. That's 201-791-0008. You owe it to yourself to stop living in pain. Start the road to recovery. Call Bella Physical Therapy today. Tri-State Health and Wellness. If you're searching for a doctor who truly cares about your health and well-being, contact Dr. Alex at Tri-State Health and Wellness. Dr. Alex specializes in treating law enforcement professionals and their families and features special hours to accommodate different work shifts. All necessary testing can be performed in their friendly and comfortable environment. Contact Tri-State Health and Wellness, located in Fair Lawn, New Jersey. Call 201-791-7771. That's 201-791-7771. Wayne Ford. If you are looking for a certified used or new vehicle, look no further. Visit Wayne Ford, New Jersey's law enforcement preferred dealer. Featuring the largest inventory of pre-owned vehicles in the tri-state area, Wayne Ford has been proudly serving the community for over 50 years. Conveniently located 1/4 mile from the Willowbrook Mall on Route 46 in Wayne, New Jersey, contact Wayne Ford today. Toll free 888-349-6857. That's 888-349-6857. Kale Orthopedic Center, featuring high-performance care for bodies in motion. Kale Orthopedic is proud to provide comprehensive orthopedic care for New Jersey's finest. Every day you put your body at risk, and Kale Orthopedic is here to help you. Contact Kale Orthopedic at 201-447-3880. That's 201-447-3880. Kale Orthopedic, high-performance care for bodies in motion. If you're tired of sleeping alone each night, contact Dr. Doblin of At Home Sleep Solutions. Dr. Doblin is New Jersey's law enforcement professional's preferred sleep apnea doctor. With the use of a custom-fitted oral device, you can now look forward to a restful night's sleep. Contact Dr. Doblin, featuring 2 convenient locations in Fairlawn and Trenton, New Jersey. Call 201-396-9338 or visit athomesleepsolutions.com. City Health Pharmacy, located at 23 Court Street in Newark, New Jersey. Come and experience why thousands of your neighbors choose City Health Pharmacy each and every month. City Health Pharmacy is a proud supporter of the men and women of New Jersey law enforcement, their families, and friends. Visit City Health Pharmacy today at 23 Court Street in Newark, New Jersey, or call 862-772-0442. That's 862-772-0442. If you're looking for the widest variety of talk programs, entertaining, engaging, diverse, uncensored, and opinionated, visit ddvradio.com. You can listen on your smartphone, tablet, or any mobile device. DDV Radio brings you the widest variety of talk programs such as Living Life Well, Your World Uncensored, The Canine Authority, and The Wise Guys Show. Visit www.ddvradio.com, the official radio network of NJ Blue Now. The opinions expressed by the hosts, callers, and guests are not those of ddvradio.com, Envisage Productions LLC, its advertisers, sponsors, or employees.
And welcome back to the Breast Cancer Awareness Show, our second hour of the program. And another book that I recommend, excellent book, that's written by a Dr. Mark Sircus, which is spelled Sircus, and it's called Anti-Inflammatory Oxygen Therapy. And it says, how to benefit from one of nature's most powerful healers, your complete guide to understanding and using natural oxygen therapy. And gee, what a concept, oxygen. The only thing that keeps us alive, obviously. We can't live on this earth without oxygen. And yet it's never promoted for a way to heal or stay healthy. And if you read this book, Anti-Inflammatory Oxygen Therapy, you'll understand how simple it is that if we did oxygen therapy to our bodies, we would be healthy. We would survive. We would kill all of the disease that's ever enters our body. And if we did it before we had disease, we would never have disease in our body. It's oxygen. Disease can't live in an oxygenated environment. It's just that simple. And yet, who knows that? Well, I'm sure doctors knew that. I can almost guarantee that doctors know that. But they're not going to tell you. Otherwise, they'd be out of business. So on the back of the book, it says, it's invisible, it is powerful, and it is life-sustaining. It is oxygen. We inhale it every day of our lives. And while it makes up only 21% of the air we breathe, it is key to our very existence. And as far as that 21% is concerned, that's only in a rural area. If you live in an urban area, those numbers are down in the low teens, which is sad. The more we learn about it, its healing properties, the more we recognize its tremendous potential as a medical treatment for many serious disorders. Yet few have known about it, its importance, its therapeutic uses until now. In his new book, Anti-Inflammatory Oxygen Therapy, best-selling author Dr. Mark Serkis examines the remarkable benefits oxygen therapy offers, from detoxification to treatments for disorders such as GERD and aging, with a special emphasis on cancer. While the term oxygen therapy conjures images of a crucially ill patient lying in a hospital bed with tubes strapped to his or her face, this book will show that oxygen can offer so much more. Dr. Serkis first looks at the nature of how inflammation works to destroy the body's tissues over time, and how oxygen can reverse this process. He examines the current treatments that use hyperbaric oxygen chambers, as well as newer protocols that employ this vital element. In addition, Dr. Serkis offers a simple, safe, and highly effective 15-minute technique that can be used in the privacy of your home so that you can enjoy maximum benefits for a healthier life. If you are wondering why you haven't heard about this miracle treatment before, the fact is oxygen cannot be patented. It is not expensive, and you don't have to be a specialist to use it. Without a tremendous profit behind it, it becomes a well-kept secret. But the facts speak for themselves. In this book, you will learn these life-altering facts, information that could change your health for the better. And it will. And it's very simple. And it makes all the sense in the world. If you understand how, or if you learn how disease is able to survive in the body and what it takes to get rid of it, which is oxygen, there's really nothing else you need to know. And the therapies that are in this book are very inexpensive. They're not like ridiculous fees, costs. So I suggest you check it out. Again, these books are very affordable. This book is $15.95, and then obviously a few bucks for shipping, whatever it may be. And that's what it's all about. Once again, it's all about learning, teaching, educating, reading. It's very simple. Matter of fact, I gave a woman earlier this morning on Facebook that information on that book. And she's going to get it and read it because she understands. And that's what I do. Just say her, I'm just here to pass on information. You know, I'm just a messenger. That's all I am. But I'm trying my best to help you as best as I can. So anyway, again, there's information that I receive every week. I get emails, and as you can see, there's a lot of different stories that I print out. I try to get to them, but they pile up because I don't get to them every week, unfortunately. Because even though this program is 2 hours, the 2 hours goes by rather quickly. And there's just so much information out there, it's unbelievable. And yet we don't know that, those of us who obviously aren't involved with this journey. We're not on, those of us who are not on this path. But it's out there. And it's free. And again, all of these books that I promote, that I read, are anywhere between $20 and $30 altogether, between the cost of the book and the shipping. I mean, it's worth it, man. It's definitely worth it. Find the time to read. I know it's difficult for many people. I understand that. I know. But try. Try to read. Do your best. Watch the videos. Read the books. So anyway, there's a article, one of the many articles that I print out, and most of them I post on the Facebook pages. And again, there's a lot of information on the Facebook pages that I post on. If you go to Facebook, if you're on Facebook, and most people are, you can go to the Donna Marino, Marino, Breast Cancer Foundation Facebook page, or the Putting on the Pink Facebook page, or you can go to my page, Thomas Marino, and you can see all of the information that I post, and there's a lot of it. And like I said, some of them I print out, the more important ones that I think are the ones that I think are more important. And this one here is from Cure Your Own Cancer. It says, chemotherapy, does it really cause cancer? It may surprise most people to find out that one of the most common treatments for a variety of cancers is chemotherapy, and that it actually has its origins in World Wars I and II. Given that most people consider the treatment of cancer to be a war, then it shouldn't come as much of a surprise. The fantastic science of chemotherapy began because it was noticed that mustard gas caused the destruction of fast-growing cells. In the average human body, the fastest-growing cells are hair follicles, stomach lining, immune system, bone marrow, and the follicles. This serves to explain why mustard gas was an effective agent of warfare. Damage to such major systems of the body would cause obvious illness and death. After World War II, a number of other chemotherapy agents were developed, all of which operate in basically the same way, attacking and killing growing cells. As an analogy, suppose you were to tell an exterminator that you have a termite infestation in your home. The exterminator, a profession whom you are entrusting, tells you that the best course of action will be to use a chemical which is known to eat away at both the wood and the foundation of homes, as well as causing irreparable damage to furniture and windows. But, after all, you really do want to get rid of those termites, right? Basically, the use of chemotherapy is the same type of treatment. Another way to look at it would be using a sledgehammer to open a peanut. Chemotherapy is, admittedly, effective at reducing tumors because it's a highly effective and toxic poison. It's designed to kill cells, and it does its job very well. It's also effective at hampering the immune system, damaging the gastrointestinal system, and effectively causing a great deal of damage to the human body. Chemotherapy treatments are effective at many things, especially at diminishing the quality of life for cancer patients. Chemotherapy treatments also happen to be carcinogenic. Yes, carcinogenic. Remember, a carcinogen is something that has been shown to increase the chances of developing cancer. And if you do your research on chemotherapy, you will find out that at best, it's effective 3% of the time, at best. So out of 100 patients, 97 of them will lose their lives if they put their faith in the oncologist that tells them that they need chemotherapy. I mean, it's just common sense. It's so simple. Chemotherapy destroys the immune system. That's the only thing that can save your life is your immune system. Your immune system has to be built up, kept strong to fight off disease. Once you put chemotherapy into your body, that's the end of your immune system. And yeah, there are times when the cancer goes away. That's true. But in most of those cases, it comes back. Sometimes right away. And sometimes after a while, maybe a year or two, whatever, or maybe even longer than that. But eventually, it'll come back. And if your immune system isn't built up, if your immune system is weak, when that happens, it's pretty much all over. There's no way you're going to stop it if you continue to follow traditional methods. And that's what you need to understand. You have to understand that it's a no-win situation going down the traditional medicine path and putting your life in the hands of a traditional medicine doctor. Sometimes some people are fortunate enough to have a doctor that understands this. There are some out there. They're not all bad. And if you're lucky enough to have one that gets it, that seriously understands how it works and truly wants to save your life, then you're very lucky. And if you do have a doctor like that, you need to have, and you probably do have, an open conversation with that doctor. Because a doctor like that wants to understand you, wants to understand what's going on in your life, how you're taking care of yourself. And that's a good thing. And you need to keep that conversation going. But for the majority of people, it's just an assembly line. You go in, you spend your 15 or 20 minutes or whatever it may be. Maybe it's usually less than that, actually. It's probably more like 5 minutes. And then you go get your scripts for your drugs, and you go on your way. And you continue to take those drugs until your situation worsens. And then they give you more drugs. And before you know it, you're constantly popping pills. I saw it. I lived it with my wife. Neither one of us knew any better. We put our faith in these doctors' hands. And she was eating pills, an unbelievable amount of pills every day. What the hell did we know? We were just regular, ordinary people. We had no medical knowledge. We knew of no alternative. Nobody was there to pass on information to us, to educate us, to tell us that there's a better way. And when I think about it, which I try not to, I can't believe that we did that. I truly can't believe that we thought that that would be the solution. Pages of pills, cardboard pages, or whatever they're called, of pills in these pop-out capsules, or whatever they're called, where you push it in and the pill comes out through the other side. Pages of them. A bag of them. Every so often. Every 4 hours. Every 6 hours. All that time that was wasted. Wasted time. Wasted time. Time that we could have spent going in a different direction. Curing her, hopefully, possibly, if we had only known better. And that's what everyone needs to understand, is you do have time. There's a lot of these natural doctors who will tell you that. Don't panic if you do get diagnosed with cancer, breast cancer, or any other cancer. That you do have time. So you have to somehow collect your thoughts and come up with a game plan. But that game plan cannot include traditional medicine. It can't. I can't emphasize that enough. If I never experienced it, then I could understand somebody doubting me. But I went through it. I saw it. I lived it. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. So take your time. Take it slow. Do your research. Educate yourself. Learn as much as you can. Ask questions. Find a natural doctor. Bring a list of questions with you when you sit down with that doctor. Do everything you can to find out as much as you can. And if you are healthy now, it's time for you to go in a different direction. Don't wait until you're diagnosed with cancer, because most of us are going to end our lives that way. Our lives are going to end because of cancer. If we don't die from a sudden disaster, whatever it may be. So try to get started. Read. I can't say that enough. There's so much information to find out. Get yourself to a point where you're there. You understand. You get it. You aren't afraid to go into this different direction. I'm still learning, and I will continue to learn as much as I can. I'll do everything I can. I'll continue to read and educate myself. And hopefully, I won't have to worry about going through this horrible nightmare anymore. Hopefully. I have 3 children. 2 of them are my daughters, 2 daughters. And I have to worry about them with this horrible epidemic we call breast cancer. I have to worry about their lives. And they're young. They're only in their 20s. My oldest already had her breasts removed because she tested positive for the BRCA gene, which we're starting to find out now after all of this time that's gone by, that it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to someday be diagnosed with breast cancer. As a matter of fact, the chances of that happening are not that high, but we are led to believe that it could happen. And so, many, many women who are testing positive for the BRCA gene are making this decision to have a complete mastectomy or full mastectomy or whatever it's called. And again, that's a rough thing, you know? Not only is it rough for the woman to go through, but it's also about making money, you know? Those are expensive surgical operations, and the surgeons are making big bucks taking women's breasts off. Then you have to go to a plastic surgeon if you decide to have reconstruction. And the cycle continues. But what do you do if you don't know any better? You go down that path. You're advised to do that by someone that you believe is giving you the best advice and has your well-being in mind, and you do it. And at 28 years, well, my daughter was 26 at the time. It was 2 years ago. And at 26 years old, that's a horrible thing to have to go through. And we've never understood that. We never experienced that when my generation was that age. No girl that I ever knew had to go through that, ever. In our 20s, or at all, really. And this is what's happening now. It's become greedier and greedier and greedier. It's all about the almighty dollar. And so that's what you have to understand. And that's where we're at.
Bella Physical Therapy, located in Fair Lawn, New Jersey, featuring one-on-one care. Bella Physical Therapy can help treat your orthopedic and sports injuries, chronic pain, men's health conditions, and women's health conditions. Also, treating headaches and tinnitus and vestibular disorders. It's easy to set up an appointment. Visit www.bella-pt.com or call 201-791-0008. That's 201-791-0008. You owe it to yourself to stop living in pain. Start the road to recovery. Call Bella Physical Therapy today. Tri-State Health and Wellness. If you're searching for a doctor who truly cares about your health and well-being, contact Dr. Alex at Tri-State Health and Wellness. Dr. Alex specializes in treating law enforcement professionals and their families and features special hours to accommodate different work shifts. All necessary testing can be performed in their friendly and comfortable environment. Contact Tri-State Health and Wellness, located in Fair Lawn, New Jersey. Call 201-791-7771. That's 201-791-7771. Wayne Ford. If you are looking for a certified used or new vehicle, look no further. Visit Wayne Ford, New Jersey's law enforcement preferred dealer. Featuring the largest inventory of pre-owned vehicles in the tri-state area, Wayne Ford has been proudly serving the community for over 50 years. Conveniently located 1/4 mile from the Willowbrook Mall on Route 46 in Wayne, New Jersey, contact Wayne Ford today. Toll free 888-349-6857. That's 888-349-6857. Kale Orthopedic Center, featuring high-performance care for bodies in motion. Kale Orthopedic is proud to provide comprehensive orthopedic care for New Jersey's finest. Every day you put your body at risk, and Kale Orthopedic is here to help you. Contact Kale Orthopedic at 201-447-3880. That's 201-447-3880. Kale Orthopedic, high-performance care for bodies in motion. If you're tired of sleeping alone each night, contact Dr. Doblin of At Home Sleep Solutions. Dr. Doblin is New Jersey's law enforcement professionals' preferred sleep apnea doctor. With the use of a custom-fitted oral device, you can now look forward to a restful night's sleep. Contact Dr. Doblin, featuring 2 convenient locations in Fair Lawn and Trenton, New Jersey. Call 201-396-9338 or visit athomesleepsolutions.com. City Health Pharmacy, located at 23 Court Street in Newark, New Jersey. Come and experience why thousands of your neighbors choose City Health Pharmacy each and every month. City Health Pharmacy is a proud supporter of the men and women of New Jersey law enforcement, their families, and friends. Visit City Health Pharmacy today at 23 Court Street in Newark, New Jersey, or call 862-772-0442. That's 862-772-0442. If you're looking for the widest variety of talk programs, entertaining, engaging, diverse, uncensored, and opinionated, visit ddvradio.com. You can listen on your smartphone, tablet, or any mobile device. DDV Radio brings you the widest variety of talk programs such as Living Life Well, Your World Uncensored, The Canine Authority, and The Wise Guys Show. Visit www.ddvradio.com, the official radio network of NJ Blue Now.
Okay, welcome back to our final segment of the Breast Cancer Awareness Show. And again, this program is on every Saturday morning at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time. And you could listen to it live by going to www.breastcancerawarenessddv.com and clicking on Tune In. Or you can watch us live on YouTube by going to YouTube and typing in the DDV Radio. And you will see a page come up where you will see some of our programs that have already been uploaded. And it will say live or live now on the one that's obviously currently being done or recorded. And so, continuing on with this whole fraud we call chemotherapy treatments, there's another article from cureyourowncancer.org. And again, these sites can be found easily, obviously, on the internet. And once you go on them, they'll pretty much always have a box where it says if you want to subscribe for free, you can fill it in, put in your email address, and you'll start to get this information. And I strongly recommend it because, like I said, most of it is really, really good. And this article is exposing the fraud and mythology of conventional cancer treatments, chemotherapy cancer treatments. And it says, treating cancer is big business in America. In fact, it's a $200 billion a year business, and those numbers fluctuate. Some say 200 billion, some say 300 billion, some say 600 billion. The fact of the matter is that it's big business. Yet 98% of conventional cancer treatments not only fail miserably, but are also almost guaranteed to make cancer patients sicker. What's worse, the powers are suppressing natural cancer cures that can help tens of thousands of people get well and live cancer-free with little or no dependence on drugs, surgery, and chemotherapy. The treatment of cancer in the U.S. is one of the most bold-faced cover-ups in medical history. Enough is enough. You deserve to know the truth about the criminality of oncologists and about the dangers of chemotherapy, conventional cancer treatments, and the cancer business. Chemotherapy kills more than cancer. Want proof? Did you know that 9 out of 10 oncologists would refuse chemotherapy if they had cancer? That's up to 91%, a huge percentage that clearly shines a light on the truth. Chemotherapy kills. Conventional oncologists are not only allowing this to happen, but they're also bullying many patients into chemotherapy and surgery right after the diagnosis, and I saw that personally. And that's what happens. That's exactly what happens with these oncologists. Why would that large percentage of oncologists, the ones telling so many patients to get chemotherapy, refuse to do it to themselves? Because they know it's not just ineffective, but extremely toxic. Regardless, 75% of cancer patients are directed to receive chemotherapy. Not shocked enough yet? A rigorous review of chemotherapy revealed that it fails for 98% of people. And when chemotherapy was tested against no treatment proved the better option. What's more is only 2 to 4% of cancers respond well to chemotherapy. In a German study of women over the age of 80 with breast cancer, those who received no treatment lived 11 months longer on average than those who received conventional cancer treatments. A 14-year study by 2 oncologists in Australia reported in the film A Shocking Look at Cancer Studies that conventional treatment such as chemotherapy for all of our major cancers is totally ineffective, far below a 10% success rate. Chemotherapy is a barbaric and pointless procedure. It attacks and kills not just cancer, but also all the living healthy cells in the body and completely cripples the body's immune system. Mammograms, another thing. And just to take a pause here, Monday is May 1st, and across the country, as I talked about last week, we have this, in many cities and towns, they're doing this paint the town pink stuff. And for what it's worth, I guess in some instances, it's a good thing because it brings out awareness. And hopefully women are deciding to be tested. But they're also pushing the use of mammograms. Make sure you get your annual mammogram. And like I talked about last week, that's not the way to go. Mammograms are antiquated. It's a thing of the past. It's been found to be not effective at all, really, in preventing any cancer. It's already going to be there and be spreading once it detects cancer. So the way to go is obviously through a thermogram, which almost everybody doesn't know what that is. And I always recommend that to every woman that I communicate with on social media. And they don't know what it is, and I have to explain what it is. And if they go get a thermogram, it'll detect something going on in the body long before it develops into anything. So this whole mammogram thing is nonsense. And that's the sad part about it. So it says mammograms do more damage than good. And preventative mastectomies are pointless. $4 billion a year mammogram industry urges women to rely on these X-ray tests to protect, quote unquote, their health. However, what they don't tell you is mammograms are a highly unnecessary and harmful treatment. In fact, mammograms harm the 10 women for every one the procedure helps. A study by researchers from the Nordic Cochrane Center in Denmark reviewed both the benefits and negative effects of 7 breast cancer screening programs on 500,000 women. For every 2,000 women who received mammograms over a 10-year period, only one would have her life prolonged, but 10 would be harmed. This is because mammograms can actually increase a woman's risk of developing breast cancer by as much as 3% a year by irradiating the breast cells and triggering breast cancer. And irradiating, obviously, is radiating, and that's how a mammogram works. Besides, obviously, with the pressure being put on the breast, it puts radiation into the breast. Radiation is not the way to go. Statistics show that there is no proof of that preventative mastectomy, removal of the whole breast, extends the life of breast cancer patients. Yet, oncologists go right on doing it on a regular basis. Preventative mastectomies are pointless procedures, and many patients are led to believe they have cancer due to false positive cancer screenings. This means they are pressured into having breasts removed for no reason whatsoever. The women undergoing these treatments are scared for their life, and that's understandable. CAT scans, or computed tomographies, are a common testing procedure for most cancer types. But the irony is that this CT scan radiation is highly dangerous and can lead to cancer itself. The radiation from a CAT scan actually has been shown to cause a substantial amount of cancer. A recent report published in the New England Journal of Medicine suggests that the radiation from current CAT scan use, estimated at more than 62 million CAT scans per year in the U.S., may cause as many as 1 in 50 future cases of cancer. This is nothing to be taken lightly. Radiation from medical devices is a huge and underestimated contribution to the growing incidence of breast and other forms of cancer. According to an article in Time Health, other studies prove doctors are performing too many unwarranted CAT scans, exposing a countless amount of patients to cancer-causing radiation. Many mammograms are also miscalibrated, so they end up churning out far too much radiation to be safe. If a woman begins getting routine mammograms at age 40, then by age 60, it is almost certain she will have breast cancer. It's no wonder so many women end up with this form of cancer. They begin getting frequent screenings starting in middle age at the urging of doctors everywhere. The health and cancer industries know about the connection between CAT scan radiation and mammograms and cancer statistics, yet they keep pushing patients to perform the, quote, preventative, unquote, procedures. The outrageous truth is frequent mammograms purposely bring repeat business to the corrupt cancer industry by creating cancer tumors over time. There is actually a little-known test for breast cancer that exists, and this method yields no false positives or negatives, a saliva test. Researchers from the University of Texas Health Science Center in Houston discovered that women with breast cancer carry different proteins than women with no cancer. This can be tested by a saliva test. So simple, a dentist could do it. Big Pharma lies to convince us that their so-called cancer cures work. Oncologists and Big Pharma use clever tricks to promote their cancer treatments, such as using relative numbers to supposedly prove the effectiveness of their cancer treatments. For example, if you or a loved one has breast cancer, doctors will likely recommend the drug tamoxifen, and that's totally true. That's the first thing that comes out of their mouth, is to jump on a tamoxifen bandwagon. They'll tell you it reduces the chance of breast cancer recurring by 49%, which sounds fairly impressive. However, based on absolute numbers, tamoxifen reduces the risk of breast cancer returning by 1.6%. 30 times less than advertised. And if you do your research on tamoxifen, you'll see that it's carcinogenic. And Dr. Selman explains that in her book. She goes into that in detail. Relative numbers instead of cold, hard statistics are often used by oncologists because relative numbers can be manipulated in many ways. Any relative statistic that allows the percentages to be spun in a false positive light could be used in these situations. Perhaps you have heard through the major media that treating early-stage breast cancer creates a 91% cure rate over 5 years. This statement is absolutely ridiculous. You could get the same cure rate by doing nothing at all. Breast cancer is a very slow-growing cancer, and that's true. Once you get it and you're diagnosed with it and you start getting treated for it, then it can accelerate. But it takes a long period of time to get to that point. And that's another thing that we don't understand, obviously, the common folk doesn't understand, is that it takes years for the body to develop any cancer, really, but especially breast cancer. It takes a long time, and many of these natural doctors will tell you that, whether it's in a book they write or a video they do, or if you deal with them directly, they'll tell you that. It takes a long time for the body to break down to that point where breast cancer occurs. The point is, don't be fooled by ambiguous relative numbers. Get the real facts. Drug companies pay oncologists to promote expensive, ineffective, and toxic cancer drugs. Most oncologists don't make their money by treating patients, but by selling cancer drugs. In fact, according to the Journal of the American Medical Association, as much as 75% of the average oncologist's earnings come from selling chemotherapy drugs in his or her office and at a substantially marked up price. And that's true. An innumerable number of cancer patients have suffered needlessly at the hands of these so-called doctors, who are often really corrupt and immoral human beings that could care less about the healing process of their patients. Many of these shameless oncologists deserve to be arrested and prosecuted immediately for the crimes they commit. Yet they keep on sending patients down the same treacherous and painful road that has resulted in too many deaths to keep track of. And that's what I was talking about earlier. If we truly had a justice system that worked the way it should work, these people are all murderers. And they should be put in prison. More and more patients are waking up to the truth about cancer treatment and educating themselves on the power of whole food nutrition and supplements. They are choosing doctors that educate and heal them rather than bully them into surgery and chemotherapy. The staggering documentary, Cancer is Curable, mentioned earlier, interviews doctors who tell you how patients are often pressured by conventional oncologists. Sometimes they're even hustled onto the operating table the day after their diagnosis. Without having any of their other choices explained to them. What's worse is that no matter how effective a treatment could be, conventional patients are still being killed by the food they are fed in hospitals. And this is another huge subject, is the garbage that's being fed to these people in hospitals. All the doctors in Cancer is Curable unanimously explain that sugar is the number one killer for every cancer patient. And although every medical doctor should know that fact, they still continue to give their patients Tootsie Rolls and candies in the chemotherapy room. Many oncologists are also telling their cancer patients to stop taking antioxidant supplements while they're undergoing treatment. And this is true. Why? Because they're saying there is a possibility that antioxidants could be lowering the effectiveness of cancer treatments like radiation treatment and chemotherapy. In spite of what you might have been told or led to believe, chemo is hardly the exact science that it pretends to be. And yet, on the mere hunch that antioxidants could be protecting the cancer cells that chemotherapy seeks to destroy, oncologists feel justified in telling their patients to forfeit antioxidant supplements. There are a ridiculous number of false positives in cancer screenings. Among 1,087 individuals participating in a cancer screening trial who received a battery of tests for prostate, ovarian, colorectal, and lung cancer, 43% had at least one false positive test result, according to a study published in the issue of Cancer Epidemiology, Biomarkers and Prevention. One of the obvious downfalls of this is the needlessly expensive medical care costs associated with false positive cancer screenings. Considering the high cost of testing and treatments, the economic consequences of false positive screening results are significant. Let's not neglect to mention the pointless emotional and physical suffering inflicted upon thousands of patients who are led to believe that they have cancer. In the study mentioned above, men that specifically weren't given a false positive reading for either prostate, lung, or colorectal cancer averaged almost $2,000 in additional medical care expenditures compared to men with all negative screenings. More than half of the men in the study had at least one false positive test. So anyway, on and on the story goes. And it's going to go on every week here, hopefully, as long as possible, or maybe not hopefully, because hopefully more people will understand that the only way to survive is to go naturally. And that's the way. That's it. Those are the answers. That's the solution. I'm totally convinced of that. When I first started out on this journey, I wasn't convinced of that. I was skeptical, like most people are. But I opened my mind up and I started reading and educating myself. And now I know for sure, because I understand, because what I've read explains how the body works, how the human body works, how it works, how the cell system works, the blood system works, how your vitamin levels need to be kept at the proper levels, how everything works in conjunction with everything else. And the only way for that to work and keep working properly is to go natural, is to do it naturally. And we're fighting a monster here. We're fighting a horrible, rotten, evil, murdering monster that's filthy, dirty, and is only concerned with profits. And we're fighting that monster. And we will continue to fight that monster. And hopefully more and more of us will get on board. And we will be able to develop an army of people. And the more that we get together and go forward on this journey, this path of taking care of ourselves naturally, the more of us that are going to survive. The more of us that won't be diagnosed with cancer. The more of us that won't have to go through a horrible nightmare, a devastation that destroys a family by having a mother, a wife, any female that's important in their life taken away from the family, the loved ones, because of breast cancer. So when you see these pink, paint in the town pink things going on in this next month here, in May of this year, next month, another couple of days in the whole entire month, just remember what I'm telling you. And hopefully you'll start to see the light and hopefully pass on the information. Don't be fooled into believing that mammograms are the answer, because they're not. They're not. They're just another part of the problem. If you really want to take care of yourself and you really want to stay on top of things and you really want to check your body every year, do a thermogram. Talk to your doctor. If your doctor doesn't recommend it, go to another doctor. Find one that does. That's what matters. Do your homework and understand what a thermogram is and how it's completely non-invasive to the body. Do your homework. Educate yourself. Take care of yourself that way. Do it that way. Start that way. Find the right people. Find the right support system. Find the right doctors. So our 2 hours are up again, as it goes by fast every week. But hopefully you'll be back next week to watch our show. Again, it's the Breast Cancer Awareness Show. And it's on the internet radio by going to breastcancerawarenessddv.com and clicking on Tune In, or going on YouTube and typing in DDV Radio in the search box, and you can watch us live or listen to us live. And until then, have a good week. Take care of yourself. Stay strong and educate yourself.
expressed by the hosts, callers, and guests